Hi!
Hi, welcome.
It's us again.
Same place, same drink, same outfit, just a different video. So welcome to part 2 of our Q&A little mini series. If you missed it, part 1 we talked about just things about us, what we do, some of our favorite things. And in part 2 of the Q&A, we're gonna be talking about relationships and marriage and yeah, diving into that. So yeah, if you guys like it, we would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to stick around to see more. And yeah, I guess we can just get right into it. You want to start us off?
So the first questions are again over there, that's why I'm looking over there. The first question is, how did you guys meet? I think you always do a great job in putting that in a little package, because if I was starting talking, we're gonna go for an hour.
Yeah, it's like, do you want the long version? Because that could be a whole video, or the short version. So we'll give you the short version. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll share the long version of our story. But in short, how we met is that we were both working with a Christian nonprofit called Youth with a Mission, or YWAM. Shout out to YWAM. We love YWAM so much. And so we were both on staff in Maui, Hawaii. And yeah, that is where we met. Chris had just got back from China. He had been leading a team of students for 3 months, and I was in Maui working in the office, and he came back and started working in the office too. And so we just got to know each other, became really good friends, and yeah, the rest is kind of history.
True. That's true.
The next question kind of goes along with that, which is, what was your first impression of each other?
Okay, so I remember I was in China with my good friend Kirsten. We were co-leading a team with each other, and she knew kind of like what kind of girls I would like, or what kind of looks I like, or whatever. And then she showed me a picture of Rachel. She's like, look, Rachel's gonna be in Maui, maybe you will like her. And I was like, I don't know.
Was that your impression when you saw my face? Yeah.
No, I think I was just over maybe a little bit dating. I don't even know if I was ready, and it was just like, I was like, I don't know if I want to date a Canadian girl where I can't speak my native tongue with. So I think that was on my mind, and I just remember when we worked together in the office, we just had a lot of fun. And it was awesome. I love that we can have serious conversations, but at the same time we could have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and then it really worked that we both love movies so much, as you can tell from our first video.
True.
And we went a lot to see movies with friends, and then it started slowly to be just us. And
yeah. My first impression of Chris, the first time I remember seeing him was when he was leading worship. Again, he had just got back from China, and I hadn't met him before, but he was up on stage leading worship. And I actually remember that time really well in the tiny little surf church, whatever, in Paia in Maui. And I remember it was an awesome time of worship, and yeah, I thought, well, that guy's really amazing, really gifted. And then, but kind of my actual first impression was that he was pretty quiet and a little, not awkward, just quiet, just not super talkative, which is actually kind of true of who he is. Chris is pretty quiet until you get to know him, and then he's really fun. And then so I remember walking together to go back to the base and asking him questions like about Switzerland and just trying to keep up the conversation, but it wasn't really going anywhere. But then yeah, over time of us just working together, his fun side kind of came out, and we just started hanging out a lot, and I just loved to be around him. And he was someone that was just so different, and I really loved that about him. Okay,
best and hardest thing about marriage.
Well, I'll go with the best part. I think the best part about marriage is just getting to be with each other. I don't know how to explain it. We did a lot of long distance in our relationship, and so that was a huge part of our dating relationship, and just having to say goodbye to each other and having to talk over Skype and work with the time difference, and that was just really hard. And so one of the best parts for me about getting married was being like, oh my gosh, we don't have to say goodbye to each other, and we don't have to say goodnight to each other, and we can go to bed together and wake up together and just be with each other. And I think that's been like just one of the best gifts.
Yeah, that's true. And I would probably say that too. It's just so much fun because as Rachel said, we had so many months apart, and it was just so hard and difficult. It's just so much fun to live together, to do life together, to get to know. We still get to know each other more and more each day, right? Hardest part, I think, you share everything.
Yeah.
I think that can be hard, right? Because sometimes I think it's a bit in our nature that we just want to be selfish.
Yeah.
Right, for me, for an example, when I get my paycheck at the end of a month, I think about, oh, what am I gonna buy with all this money I just worked for? But at the same time, I'm like, no, but now we're a family. It's not just about me, it's not just my money anymore, it's our money.
Yeah,
which is true. I think it really takes time to adjust.
For me, I think too, one of the hardest parts is that you can't hide things. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, for me, I'm like more of an emotional person than Chris is. But you know, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm having a hard day, I can't really hide it. And I guess that's a good thing, but it's just like, you know, you have to be vulnerable and open. It takes, a lot of learning how to process things together and how to deal with emotions together as a couple. So yeah, that can be hard sometimes, or just if you're having a bad day and you're in a bad mood, it's just like you can't really hide that from the other person. It comes out. So next question is, what is your favorite quality about your spouse?
I think for me, my favorite quality is how creative you are. Because Rachel is so creative, it involves everything. She's not just like, oh, I'm just drawing or whatever. No, she's creative in like cooking and drawing. She even started playing piano again, or all these little things, and writing your journal or whatever. You're just so creative, and I love that about you. Yeah, really a good role model for me, even to be like, hey, I want to be more creative, and God created us to be creative. And so I think like you really live that out really well.
It's really sweet. For me, one of my favorite things about Chris has always been his generosity. He's like the most generous person I've ever met, and he gives freely, like, to everyone around him. And so if you're friends with him, if you know him, he's probably, I don't know, you would know this, that he's just, he doesn't hold on to things, he doesn't hold on to money, but he's so willing to just give it away. And whether it is money or it's his time or whatever it is, like, he's just so generous with everything that he has. And I think you really understand like that it's not yours, that it's the Lord's, and it's a gift, and you share that with the people around you, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
I also love your faith. He is like such a faith man. No, I'm more of a warrior, whereas Chris is just very secure in who the Lord is and that he's faithful and that he provides for us. And just when he asks us to do something, we're just gonna do it. And so I love that about him, and it really pushes me and stretches my faith. So
thanks.
Thanks so
much. Okay, what's the biggest surprise about marriage?
What actually really surprised me was how hard it is to be apart. And even like for me, I have such a hard time. Sometimes Chris works late, and I have such a hard time falling asleep when he's not there, which is like so funny. I never thought that it would be like that. But also too, recently we went on a trip for the first time separate. Chris went to Sweden and I went to Amsterdam, and it was just so crazy, like how much, even though we spend like so much time together, how much I missed him after the 3 or 4 days, whatever it was. So I think that surprised me, because I kind of thought, oh, we'll spend all this time together and then we'll get sick of each other. But I mean, we do sometimes need our space, but yeah, I think just how much I miss you when you're not around.
I think the biggest surprise for me is how I can just let go of things. I don't need to really worry about things. Like, for example, back in the days when I worked, I was always thinking about, oh, what am I gonna cook for dinner, or things like that. And now I have a beautiful wife, an awesome wife that just messaged me, hey, we're gonna have this for dinner. And it's just these little things, and I think helping each other out, I didn't probably expect that to be so awesome and so cool, that you just really balance each other out, where I'm like, oh, I worked all day, and I can just come home and have a awesome meal. I think that is such an amazing surprise. In marriage, you just really balance each other out.
I would totally agree with that. Even like for me, then on the flip side, things like finances and paying the bills and taxes and like all these like little things like Chris just takes care of. And so I feel like we found a really good balance in our marriage of like who does what, who takes care of what, and it makes me really thankful that we get to do it as a team and not all the weight is on one person's shoulders, but we get to balance, just balance this out.
How old were you when you got married?
Ooh, how old was I?
You were 21.
I was about to turn 22. Yeah.
And I was actually 29.
Yeah, so a little age gap, love having. How did you know that you loved each other and that you wanted to pursue a relationship?
I think for me it was like I said before, it was just that we could have such good conversations and at the same time we can have so much fun together. We love the same things. I think like it was just a match. It was just really like the girl I was looking for. Yeah, I think for me, and probably for both of us, it was that we both had kind of a vision for our life that really aligned with one another. We both love Jesus, we both love being in ministry, and so that was huge. And especially for me at the beginning when I was thinking about, okay, should we pursue a relationship, should we not, I just remember just the Lord speaking to me and just showing me that our gifts together complemented each other really well, and how he loves worship, I love intercession and prayer, and just that I could see a future that we would make a really good team together, and we both wanted very similar things out of life. And yeah, we were just really, really good friends. What are your pet peeves of each other?
Chris really likes to watch like videos out loud, and sometimes it's totally fine, but sometimes it's just like, can we just be like quiet for a second? Like, actually, you know what my pet peeve is? That he leaves his socks everywhere. As soon as he gets in the door, he pulls off his socks, and so they're like just everywhere. I'm like, go around and collect his socks from around the house. So it's a little thing. But
I have one. Sometimes you want to have the deepest conversations at 3 a.m. when I'm so tired and just want to sleep, and then I just give yes and no answers. But for her, that's
and then I get mad.
She gets mad. We figured that out, so we
worked through it.
We worked through it. We don't have, but it was mine. And another one is, it's just a tiny one. She leaves her curling iron always plugged in the sink.
It's true. That is true. I need to work on that. Okay, second last question. What do you fight about the most? Dumb things.
Dumb things.
Honestly, we rarely have fights over things that are actually important. You guys, one time we had a fight about HelloFresh.
Yes.
I was like, I think it's cool, and Chris was like, I think it's dumb.
I said it's just for lazy people. Why can you not just go to the store and buy it? And we had such a huge fight
and that turned into a big fight. And so looking back, it's dumb. So honestly, we just fight about stupid little things. We do fight, but just stupid little things.
What dreams do you guys have?
Ooh, last question. That's a big one.
Big one. Big dreams.
Let's dream big. Read this book. I know one right off the bat. We want to get a dog. Is that a dream? That's a dream. We want to get a dog. We want to have kids.
Yeah.
I feel like those are two big dreams. A big family. I don't know. For me, I think one of the biggest dreams is to pioneer something new. Like, we love YWAM and we love that, but even within YWAM, pioneering maybe like a new school, our own kind of ministry. I don't know, and I would love to find too a way to incorporate creativity and discipleship and all those things together.
One of my big dreams, and we talked about that the other day, is like, because we know a lot of people have dreams about having a huge home, having a fancy car, and these dreams are not bad. I'm not saying that, and I'm sometimes wish we would just have a nice house and everything like that. But I think for us it's more about going out into the world and as the Bible said, making disciples of all nations, because we love people, different nations. It's a huge dream, and we hope we can do that for the rest of our lives, just really to go out into the nations and just use our gifts to bring glory to God.
We've been talking about that recently, about, you know, how do we focus in our life of building treasures in heaven, not treasures on earth. And so I think, if we can reach the end of our life and be able to say, like our treasure was in heaven, and we pursued Jesus with everything that we have, and we were obedient to him in every area of our life. Like, to me, that's my dream. That's would be a full, fulfilled life. And so, yeah. Oh, that got deep a little bit. Anyways, so yeah, that was it for the questions.
If you have more questions, just ask us, put it in the comments. We love to do these. Why don't you guys just tell us, what is your big dream? What kind of dreams do you guys have? We would love to read that in the comments.
Hope that you guys are having an awesome day and are keeping safe and healthy, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.